Episode 3 of the 2021 PA Kubb Championships. We are still in Elverson, PA. We are still dancing. We're planning on dancing for the rest of the day. We are into the bracket now. Episodes 1 and 2 took us through the first 6 rounds, which formed the bracket, and that's what the bracket winner gets right there. So we are now into the quarterfinals. We're going to have 2 quarterfinal matches, one this week, one next week. Now we are in the best 2 out of 3, so these matches are going to be, from here on, going to be best 2 out of 3. Today, we're going to have Squirrel Staches. Been looking pretty good all day long, facing EMR Kubb, coming in as the 7th seed. The best 2 out of 3. So we've got one of the 4 teams and one of the 4 teams. That's projectile dysfunction right there. We're going to see them next week. And there is Jake, who I am on the good authority as a big fan of Swans. Joining me, as usual, is my commentating partner. Actually, not as usual, just as usual for this tournament. My commentating partner, Sven Heikes. Sven, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey Drew, how you doing? Not too much going on here. Just getting pumped up for these quarterfinals. We've been working through all the qualification rounds to get here, and I'm excited about it, man.
Yep, and so there's the bracket, and as I said, today we are going to have that 2-7 seed on the bottom, the Squirrel Staches, facing off against EMR Kubb. Squirrel Staches are a Frankenstein team made up of 2 other teams, and then EMR Kubb is coming out of Raleigh. We saw them in the first round against Kubb. For 1-1 record. But
I think that Squirrel. That Squirrel not only has a mustache, but it also has a goatee, I believe, which is amazing work by the graphics department.
Yeah, graphics department typed in Kubb's what did the Squirrel Staches into Google.
That's what it came up with.
That's what's there. Generally, that's the way the graphics department works. They just Google things, and whatever is there, that's what's there. Same goes for the logo of EMR Kubb. That's what. Oh, somebody knocked it over. Let me guess. I'm going to guess somebody made a joke about, we win, because that's what happens every time.
Yeah, that's pretty common, even in Sweden.
And even in Sweden.
And I'd like to say it never gets old, but it gets old.
I've heard it once or twice.
Just a few.
A few. So Squirrel Staches, EMR Kubb. Sven, who you got?
I got Squirrel Staches all day. These guys, finalists in 2019. They're top to bottom a solid team. They really have it all, Drew. And I expect this to be a fairly easy match for them in the quarterfinal.
Probably.
No disrespect on EMR Kubb, but these guys are going to bring it. Like Jake just nailed that 8 like it's nothing.
Yeah, and Kyle has been. Kyle has been absolutely on fire from 8 meters all day long. He had two meatloafs in whatever round that was that we saw them.
I think.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't say he's on fire. That's just Kyle.
Yeah.
He's not. That's basically just what he does. He just hits 8s all day long.
Yeah, I believe I said in either the first or second episode that if Phil is the assassin from 8 meters, Kyle is the sniper, because he is just dropping them, and he is one of the best 8 meter players in the country.
He's got it down, no doubt about it. It's going to be a pretty high mountain to climb for these guys, and but you never know. There, matches hit one, looking good on the first turn, so that's quality. Oh, nice shot there by Dan.
Yeah, but 3 out of 4 from 8 meters in this match so far. I wouldn't be surprised if that keeps up the way they've been throwing today.
Mm-hmm. No doubt, and we saw it in the East Coast a little bit with the 2-3 matchup, and we're seeing it today, not in this match, but in the 1-8. So these guys were the 2 seed. Their only loss on the day, all outright loss, was to Kubb Staches, which went to time. Kubb Staches actually had a really good turn that last turn. It was tie, and they were stuck at 6 cubes, and Kubb Staches were able to put the king down at time. That's really their only outright loss. And so, but I don't generally. I think they'd rather be the 2 seed today, right now. I mean, the 1-8 matchup when you got an East Coast champion and the experience that Kevin Bachman brings to projectile dysfunction plus cousin Dave, that's one of the for a field of 12. That's a really difficult 1-8. I mean, the Kubb Stashes worked all the way back up off the deck when they lost the projectile dysfunction just to get them again in the quarterfinals, and I'm pretty sure they're not pleased about it. But these
Yeah,
guys,
unless we're going to see that matchup next week, projectile dysfunction and the Coop stashes. We'll see if projectile dysfunction just has. Oh, nice
oh,
double. That was a real nice double right there. We'll see
absolutely.
if projectile dysfunction can keep up the first match or the first round mojo,
Hmm.
and knock off
Well,
the
they
one
they've
seed.
been on a roller coaster all day, but you just don't know when you're going to hit the wrong the wrong part of the roller coaster with them. I mean, their record, obviously they've earned that 8 seed, which is 8 out of 12, but they're going to come in there with nothing to lose.
Yep. Oh,
This is
Kyle. Kyle
Meatloaf.
had a chance for meatloaf and didn't pick it up. I thought for sure he was going to have that one.
Yeah, no, I thought he was digging for the meatloaf was coming out of the oven on that one.
That's right.
Oh, that was
One for
a
four.
little high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little high.
just
So the other thing we talked about in the first round match with Das Kub, with Mike Davids and Nick Bartlett, we were talking about how the two players can really switch it up. They're interchangeable. Each can drill, each can blast, each can throw 8 meters. I kind of feel the same way about Squirrel Stashes. Maybe I give Kyle the slight nod on the 8 meters because he's just on fire. But Jake can do it all too.
Yeah,
So
I would agree with that assessment. I think these guys, they're both extraordinarily solid all around players. I don't see a weakness in their game. I mean, I've seen Kyle blast with the best of them, and I know Jake really well from Coop Stashes as far as playing with my cousin there. I've seen a lot of their matches, and I know what he can do, and he can drill. He's drilled for Coop Stashes for the last few years in nationals. Um, so yeah, both these guys are pretty much all around top to bottom. There really isn't many weaknesses in their game, and
yep.
so yeah, it's going to be they're going to be a tough team to beat, not only just in this match, but just down the stretch here as we keep going forward. Um,
Speaking of drilling, look at this pile that Dan has got here.
Dan's been
Oh,
rough.
and the
Oh,
quad.
that's a
That's a
nasty
nasty
blast.
blasty right there.
Yes, it is.
Nasty blasty, sponsored by the Blasters, October
I
16th in Raleigh.
I can't tell you how impressed I've been with Dan's drilling that we've seen. We've seen them a couple times, and he's just been drilling the lights out all day. Now, we are getting into the afternoon here. The pitches are starting to dry out. I think you're going to start to see drilling conditions on these pitches start to change a little bit potentially. I mean, this is what you have to keep on top of anytime you play and you're drilling. You have to be mindful of the conditions of the pitch because they can change within a match and dry out with the afternoon heat. So you see it at nationals every year.
Yep,
And you've seen it at a lot of different events, and you look at that drilling area over where Dan's on there now, starting to get a little
it's
brown.
pretty beat down.
Hmm.
So I know when Bob and I did the East Coast championship, the commentary for it, we Bob had said that he doesn't consider Kyle to be an East Coast player, so you can leave him in or out of it depending on however you want to do it. But Sven, you've scouted everybody. You travel the country scouting people. If we talk about East Coast players,
Hmm.
just all around best players on the East Coast,
Yeah.
who do you think is there? Jake is up there.
Yeah, I would put Jake. I would put Kyle, obviously. I would put Bob in there. I'd put Mike Davids in there. Um, you know, as
I'd say
far as the
that's
top, that would be my top group.
yeah.
That's tier one. Uh, as far as I can think of.
Yeah, I think that's probably
I think if
up.
Kevin Bachman had stayed with it, and Jesse Winkowski, the former Kubb Staches, had stayed with it, they've really bowed out of the game in 2017. But if they had stayed with it, I think you'd put them on that list as well. And they won the East Coast Championship in 2018. But anymore, no, I wouldn't put them in that group.
Yep, I agree with that.
But a lot of times too, I think the in the Kubb world, it seems like it's either Midwest or not. So they tend to think of, well, you're the best team and the best player outside of that Midwest group, and they wouldn't put Ohio in that Midwest group. If you're not from really, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, maybe Illinois, you're not part of the Midwest group. So,
So, so the Midwest doesn't want Ohio. The East Coast doesn't want Ohio.
or Michigan for that matter.
That's true. That's true.
We
They could,
we love those two together. It's like
yeah,
the hand and the wrist, We don't want either
yeah,
of them.
they can play amongst themselves.
And they do. And there's a lot of great players in Ohio and Michigan. There's no doubt about it.
Are,
We
are.
saw that East Coast, man. Michigan came and dominated. So, except for Adam Holtz from Wisconsin, but
Wisconsin guy. Yep.
yeah. No, it's there's a good core of players, and you look at Kyle and Jake getting together here. It's like, all right, now you stacked a team with two of the best players on the East Coast. So, I know this is their second time playing together, and it's similar to that feeling of you know almost like at East Coast where we had all those semifinal teams that from the year before in North Carolina that had lost that came back to kind of to get it. These guys, maybe they're on a redemption tour too. I mean, they don't come to these events to lose.
No.
They're not coming here. They're sure they want to have a good time. I mean, Jake has said many times um, that when it's not fun, he's not going to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
He comes to have a good time,
Agree.
but he also winning's a lot of fun. That was a nice
It's a
shot.
nice triple. Yeah.
hmm So
Yeah. So I agree with that on the top four. I think you said I think I would put the kind of the newer players on the East Coast, the best new players on the East Coast that I've seen. I would have
nice
nice
shot.
eight. Yeah, I would have Joe Harbert. I don't know how
Definitely.
long you can be considered new. It's been a year, year and a half or something that he's kind of been on the scene. Uh,
Yeah, I mean he's new. He's new to. He's not as new in the East Coast anymore, but I'd still put him in that up and
yeah,
coming player list. Yeah,
and then I'd put Dan on the
and he
as
can
the other
write
one.
one hell of a haiku
Yo, he
or
can. He
haiku.
can. He can. He's a
I mean,
poet.
you just felt the zen off that one.
Oh,
How
couldn't
are
get
those
over it.
submissions? They pouring in?
Pouring in, baby. Pouring in.
Um,
Kyle had a nice pile going there. The
yeah, he
last one
did.
was a little bit out, but it's
The Yeah, I definitely put Dan on that list. I'd put Mike Horengic on that list.
Mike.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know that I was considering Mike to be one of the players. I think
But most people don't know him. So like,
that's
and
true.
he doesn't really travel much. He's been to North Carolina for that East Coast Championship, and he was
Yep.
in Maryland he's done two East Coasts in a row, but those are the first times out of Pennsylvania. I mean, he's been playing we first met him and Cousin Dave at the same time, and that was 5 years ago. And so, but he's definitely one of the up and comers. Heck, even Cousin Dave. I mean, his game's come a long way. And he takes it pretty seriously as about as seriously as Cousin Dave can take it, you know. And but he's been traveling a lot more too, so it's great to see. Um, I'm trying to think who else really. I mean,
I tell you, if you're ever in a tournament and the cuz is there, make sure you stop and say hi.
definitely,
Guy's a character.
it's definitely worth saying hi to the cuz. I think all this video time with our 16 subscribers there. You know, because he might be a Coop celebrity.
He
You don't
is.
know. So he definitely is on the East Coast. We definitely enjoy the Cuz whenever he comes
So
out. So
so while we've been sitting here jib jabbing, EMR has tied it up.
they have.
Yeah, I've kind of missed a couple turns here, but I just looked up to see how many are in play.
This could be a nasty blasty from
Could
Jake.
be. Oh,
Oh,
that's
great
five.
shot.
That is.
If he had gotten the sixth, I don't know how that one stood up.
Well, we'll see. Let's see.
Gorgeous.
There's
This could be a finishing turn here. If he just hits this single, I don't know what he's worried about. He's taking a big angle though. That's a
he's taking a lot of green. There's one sitting in front. Maybe he's trying to.
yeah.
Uh,
He's trying to avoid
six,
that. That
six
was
with two.
yeah.
Very subjective, but we'll go ahead and say that's a nasty blasty.
That was high quality.
Yeah.
Oh God, let's get a meatloaf. Let's see one. Yep. Jake still has one, remember? So this is for a king shot.
Oh,
Oh,
there it
and
goes.
he just dropped his baton.
Yep, that's never good. That's never good.
No. All right.
Nerves getting to him a little bit.
I, I doubt it. Let's see baseline clear. He's taking his time over this one.
Yeah, he is.
Well, a
Oh,
lot of rotation on that thing.
yeah. So,
Well,
the Squirrel Staches started out real hot from 8. They went 2 for 2 to start it out, and have only been able to pick up 2 cents, so they've slowed down quite a bit.
they have. I think they might be somewhat surprised that I mean they played EMR earlier. We had that match, I believe, didn't we? Or was that was with them projectile dysfunction? They probably did play EMR at some point today. We could look at how they did. I'm sure that it was probably a win, but um, a lot of times too, they're probably thinking, all right, we generally should be able to sleepwalk to the semifinals here,
Yeah,
and then EMR makes a nice comeback there, and they're like, whoa, what's going on?
that was a nice pile Dan was working on. The
It
last
was.
two
It's
got
got
a little
couple rethrows, a little squirrely, if you will.
little squirrely.
Up
So
three.
3 rethrows, got a whole pile of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really paying attention to this, Sven. What are your thoughts on the aggressiveness of the rethrows? I've really kind of changed my thoughts. I think for a long time I was pretty aggressive on my second throws, and the logic that Bob used in the East Coast was well, the logic that he shared while we were commentating the East Coast was no reason to be aggressive on the second because a penalty Kubb is you're losing batons on the penalty Kubb, so you might as well keep them in play. Um, I don't know where I'm going with this, but that makes a lot of sense to me. That resonates with me, and probably going to change how I play on the rethrow.
Yeah, I would almost take that a step further. As far as I agree, but there's time to be aggressive and there's time to not, and but the other thing that I like to focus on too is that first toss percentage. So if you get a high first toss percentage, you're not going to be in position to throw penalties because you're not going to throw them because
Yep.
you everything's in. So,
Yeah.
even in some of that cases, not being as aggressive on the first toss can lead to less potential penalties because you don't have second tosses,
Yep.
and so it's kind of like your first serve percentage in tennis.
Yep.
You don't 'cause most people don't want to are going to be ultra, be more conservative on that second serve. Oh, what
Oh,
the
that
heck?
was got
That
robbed on that one.
that is absolutely just highway robbery. But
Still three
they
shots left.
that's a nice shot. Matt's really playing well. Um,
Nice
nice.
clear.
Yeah,
Nice
well
clear, and
done.
gives Dan a shot at the 8.
Hmm. So yeah, you really just with that second serve in tennis, you see guys just tee off on it, and that's similar. Even though no one's teeing off on your second shot, but you need to be more conservative with it because if you make a mistake, you're going to get teed off on throwing penalties. It's just
Yep.
it's a game killer.
Yeah.
Um, and
Well,
so
you figure if you figure your choices really. if you play it safe, worst case, you've got one Kubb out on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if it's worst case or best case. The two options really are you play it safe and you have one Kubb out there on its own, which is going to take one baton probably, or you've got essentially probably another 8 meter shot to clear before you can throw at the other baselines. So, you know, one baton or, what do you throw 8 meters at? 50% if you're really good at it. So, it just math wise, it makes sense just to be safe with that second. Yeah, the
Yeah,
second one.
it's the same reason why I don't think you go for the field-based double, because your 8 meter percentage should be better than the percentage you're going to get that shot, and what are the percentages you're going to miss the field, and
Yep.
then you cost yourself a baton when you could have just hit it and go for the eight. So, I mean, this game is all about really just the numbers and analytics of it. And you think about, like, if you think about everything in terms of percentage, and you can hit a consistent percentage, whatever the percentage is, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're consistently hitting 25% at 8 meters, that's fine. At least you're consistent. So you can play differently because you know the number. And so you need to know the one thing that I love about Kubb is you need to know your teammates' numbers too, because you're going to make decisions based on all your numbers and what you do well and what you don't do well. And Kubb is one of the few sports really that I feel like you really need to know those things. And because it's not reactionary and you can make decisions and you have the options to say, okay, well, you don't have to throw a certain way. You can do whatever you want, really. And so if you know what the percentages are, I always would play the percentages until the wheels fall off.
Yeah. That's the problem. Just like Mike Tyson. Like
Mm.
Bob told me, Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. So I tell you what, Coop punches you in the face sometimes.
Oh,
Oh, right through the middle.
he almost got a triple there.
Yeah, he
Back one
picked up
leaned.
two, but should have probably gotten at least three. There's a nice double.
Nice shot, yeah. Now he's going to be looking for a triple here.
If he can pick up this triple, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's over.
Yeah.
Not the easiest triple, but not the hardest either. Oh,
Oh,
it's a single.
he missed his target,
Yep.
no doubt. But Kyle still has a chance here. He can get this double.
There's the
Nice
double.
shot. See, that would have tripled coming from the
Yep.
other side, which is, that's the thing. You try to take the angle that you're comfortable with. It's just
Oh,
amazing too.
Kyle.
Nice
Kyle
close.
goes baseline clear. Now the king shot, and that
Nice.
one is over.
Yep. Game one in the
So the Squirrel Stashes. Yep, Squirrel Stashes take game one. So we got another one coming up here in just a second. Stats for the match. Squirrel Staches and EMR Kubb both blasting very well. 1.6, 1.4, 42% from 8 meters. Actually, I think Squirrel Staches could probably do quite a bit better than that. I would never be surprised to see them at 50% for a match.
or 60 or 70.
Or whatever.
We've already seen them at.
Yeah. EMR struggled a bit at 33%, but pick it up here in the second match, so they'll have to win 2 in a row if they're going to move on to the semifinals.
Yep.
Squirrel Stashes now need one more to make it on to the semifinals. We don't know who they would be facing yet, but we will find that out before the end.
I believe their side of the bracket is the winner of the Old Line Kubb versus, I don't know who they're playing, but the Old Line Kubb match, the winner of that one would face Squirrel Stash in the semifinals.
I believe they're taking on the Kubb Nerds.
Ah, Jason and Didi.
Yes. Is that
Nice.
the 3-6? I think that's a 3-6.
Yes, that would be the 3-6. I believe Das Kubb is the 4. So Kubb Stashes were the 1. So Das Kubb winner there behind us. They're playing Kubb Lacan, which we've seen them get red hot today.
Yeah.
So the winner of that match would play the winner of the 1-8, which we'll see next week. Well,
EMR
we'll
picked
see
up.
it. We'll see it
Yes.
soon, but everyone else will see it next week.
Yeah. It's proprietary at this point.
Yes.
EMR picked up an 8-meter on their first turn.
Nice. That's key. Jake is he's
A little
throwing
high.
them. He's a little wild on these 8 meters. I don't
They're
know.
flying a bit.
They are.
Want to point out that the scroll at the bottom of the screen has some upcoming tournaments. So check those out if you have a chance to. Michigan Championship is coming up here in just a couple of
Oh
weeks
yeah.
on September 25th. And then we've got the Blasters, the Scuffle for the Shovel, the Spring Fling.
Uh-huh.
Lots of tournaments on there. So
I
go ahead
believe
and sign up for one of them and get
I'm
out there
gonna
and
have
play some
to.
Kubb.
I'm gonna have to extend my stay here in the great United States of America and go to all these tournaments because Bob's playing in most of them. So gotta keep scouting.
So
Gotta keep.
Sven, do you ever actually play, or are you just more of a scout? You just
I'm
scout
just.
every team.
I do play, but never in. I won't play in America. How
Oh,
about
okay.
that?
I
I
understand.
only play in Europe. That's just kind of how I roll. But I'm also
Oh,
that was an
that,
interesting bounce.
that was artistic.
Uh-huh.
Nice clear though on two.
Very nice. No, so I
So
I
you're
am
scared of
using my
the
Kubb knowledge that I've gained over many years to help a cuz out, and it's going to be a little bit confusing next match when my cuz plays the cuz.
oh boy.
That was a nice shot.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get uh, the translator out for that one. That one's gonna be very confusing.
Hmm. We're gonna have to make sure it's clear what we're talking about, which
Yeah,
cuz.
correct.
No, I don't think. I mean, there's only one the cuz, and that's
Correct.
cousin Dave. So it shouldn't be that hard. But
Yep. So that is next week's
it's a
episode.
semantics argument, Drew, between my cousin and everybody's cousin. You know what I mean?
My cuz, the cuz.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one man that's everyone's cuz,
That's right.
and that's the cuz.
So three in play pretty
They
quickly
got a
here.
nice lead too after 2 turns. See if the Squirrel Staches can punch back here.
Well, we know squirrels are pretty punchless. I've heard that
Oh,
before.
yeah. In the wild, they
Yes.
definitely are. On the Kubb pitch, not
Oh,
so much. Nice double. That was an
it
interesting.
didn't seem like that was what he was trying to do, but I would say that that's exactly what I was trying to do.
Yeah, now you take 2 with 3 all day.
Yep.
Nice clear. And now he's just because they can't win, he's just gonna go ahead and take this 8.
I find that the hardest double to get is when there's two Kubbs in play. I think that's one of the hardest shots that you see all the time in Kubb is the two Kubbs in play. You go ahead and drill them. Getting those two to line up to be able to make that a double is always very hard.
Yeah,
you have 5, 6 in play, whatever. Yeah, you're expecting doubles and triples, but when there's two in play, I think the double on two in play is always hard.
I recently changed my strategy on that, and I've gotten more. Um,
Hold
so
on,
previous,
Kyle
yeah,
going
he's going
meatloaf
for
here.
a meatloaf. He tied it up. Let's see if he can get it.
Oh,
Oh God, he just does not want to show us some loaf. It's been so long, Drew.
yeah, I hear
It's
you.
been so long. So the strategy with two that I changed is I used to try to force in on the center line on the first one and not go for the corner. So I'd force in on the center line and then try to go behind it. Um, and generally, like I liked, even if it didn't work out, like the angles, but I wouldn't get as many doubles in that scenario. So now I go after the corner, try to force them both in, either center or the side. If you get two force ins on the corner, you're you're going to have a good chance. Now, if I throw the first one either out of bounds or short, then I'll go to the middle because I'm not throwing a penalty at two. So if I know I have a rethrow, I won't bother because I don't know. There's no way I'm gonna throw a penalty at two. That's just the worst. So,
Yeah,
but as long as I can get the first one in, then it's like, especially if it's a force in, then if you can force in them both, you're gonna be in good shape.
yeah.
So I've gotten a lot more with that strategy than what I was doing before. Of
I
course,
think
you'll never see it because you'll never see me on video in Europe. It's not gonna
that's
happen.
correct. Right. This is American only coverage.
Yeah,
I think Dan threw a couple of those goofy.
yeah.
So
Which is crazy.
really,
Again, he just started in
yeah,
April, and it's
he's been playing
August.
for 5 months, 4 months or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing for a lot longer than that, Drew, and I can't goofy cut at all as a right-hander.
You know,
I can do it, but I can't do it well enough to even put it in competition. I won't even
it's
bother.
it's something that's really oh
That was
that's something that
oh,
sometimes it just works for me, and that's what I choose to do.
I,
But then other times I can't get it to work at all, and so I'm just going regular the whole time.
dude, was that a hummingbird? Did you
I
see
think
that?
so. Either that or a bee.
I think it was a hummingbird. Looked
Oh
too
boy.
big to be a bee.
Uh-oh. Oh, and now Dan's dropping
Oh,
batons. Oh boy.
is
And
this going to be a line?
correct.
Yes,
Oh
it
boy,
is.
that's going to be a big
Ouch.
line.
That's unfortunate too with a good group, and they've been playing so well short.
Yeah.
Look, he's just like just finish us. Here's the
Yeah.
coops.
That's that's a gut punch.
This is not necessarily the easiest finish. I mean, it should be for these guys, but I mean, they have to be basically perfect unless they get this double. So he went for the corner. They're both forced in, so they should have a one baton to play with here.
They should be.
Oh,
Oh, well,
jeez.
there goes the one
There,
baton.
there goes that theory.
The
Wow.
swan planted it into the ground, and
Oh
it
yeah,
just
I gotta
tumbled
look at the
right over.
point too. You were saying the swan.
Yeah,
We
two
have to start.
swans.
Maybe we'll start calling him the swan
I think that's a good name.
because I can see it. When you said duck, that's when you really threw me for a loop.
Oh,
Oh
another
man, they're
miss.
not finishing. Man,
Now the swan can go baseline clear here, but I'm sure they were looking to end this one on this turn right here.
the swan. That's fantastic. Jake the Swan Levitt.
You think you think he's gonna like that?
No,
Oh, oh,
not at all. But what are you gonna do when you're the swan? You're the swan. I mean,
that's look at it. I didn't choose 22.
no. And who knows why he did, but now he's the swan. Maybe the next time they make jerseys, he'll change his number so he won't be the swan anymore. But doesn't matter. We'll keep calling him it. We'll have
Oh,
to tell Bob that one.
yeah,
You know.
Bob and the Swan.
Yeah.
Sounds like a morning radio show. Bob and the Swan on 99.5.
Yeah, Bob and the Swan, 2020 East Coast Coupe champions with the when the Swan had the kidney stones. Oh man,
Oh,
that was a rough day for the Swan.
boy, it was. It was a rough day just watching it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like every time somebody bails out of a tournament now for some sort of health reason. So like in this one, Dan Ivanuk, who you talked to at East Coast, um, you know, he told you
Yep,
about the 1v1 world
yep,
the
yep,
virtual world championship he won.
yep.
Dan couldn't come because he broke his tibia, I believe. It was a stress fracture
Oh,
basically.
final,
And
final,
Jake's final.
final just came in. Old Line Koob
Nice. It
defeated
looks like
Koob Nerds. So
they'll
winner
be
of this
waiting.
match is going to be taken on Old Line Koob.
hmm So then Jake's response to the fact that Dan can't play because he has a broken tibia is like, why don't you just suck it up? Why don't you just play through it? I did. Like I played with kidney stones.
Yeah,
Won an East Coast Championship. Like, well, why can't he play on a broken leg? I don't get the mentality here.
that's
I'm
a
just like, well, not everyone's as badass as you, Swanee.
Swanee.
It's like lid swad.
Oh, we got another advantage line here, and
This is
this
gonna
is
be.
it right here.
I'm calling it right now, Drew.
I'm calling it
This is over. These EMR
over.
is going to the silver bracket.
Correct.
They're headed straight to Silvertown. Population, you, bro. Hopefully Jake doesn't, or the Swan doesn't airmail a blast shot here from
That was
point
pretty.
blank. That was not pretty as far as the Swans, because they're not very Swan-like. He's also very swan-like in that, he's very like he's tall. He's like 6'5", very, very majestic on top of the water, but I'm sure, underneath the surface, those legs are kicking.
I don't know what that means, but
I don't either, Drew.
must be some of that Swedish humor. Doesn't translate well.
Yeah, no, that must be.
All right, so
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. I gotta believe this one's over.
Yeah, I think he's got this.
Seven.
They don't get this in 5, Drew. They don't deserve to go to semifinals.
I tend to agree with you.
Oh, good contact.
Yep. I think that was 3.
Yeah.
Outside chance at a triple here. Yeah, no, that was going to be a tough shot. Outside chance at a double too. This is
outside. Nope. Kyle's like, really, dude?
Kyle's going to clean this up and knock out the king. Got
Kyle's
2
like,
shots.
No wonder we took you guys out of nationals with turns like that. Nice. That almost didn't go.
Yeah.
You wonder if there's like subtle trash talk going on the baseline with these two. You do wonder.
I would hope so. It
would be hilarious.
Yeah. So Kubb's or Squirrel Staches, that gets me every time. Squirrel Staches moved on 2 games to none, 1.6 versus EMR 1. They gave them those 2 advantage lines. They killed their blasting numbers. But Squirrel Staches cooled off quite a bit, 37%. They had a lot of baselines that they cleared with the advantage line. It wasn't a ton. As we said earlier, line we saw that final come in. So next week we're going to have the Kubb Staches projectile dysfunction 8 matchup. But then in the semifinals, it will be the Squirrel Staches versus mine. Squirrel Staches is already that. Those guys don't know. So Bob, what'd you think? I thought EMR looked good. Very impressed with Dan. The matches that we saw. But you ran into the Squirrel Staches. It's going to be tough to beat anytime in this tournament.
I don't know what Bob thinks, Drew, but Sven here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sven. Yes.
Yeah, definitely impressed with the EMR Kubb. I thought they really did play well. They had a really good showing in all the times we saw them, and they just ran into a buzzsaw there with the Squirrel Staches. And even though they didn't actually have to be that buzzsaw-like, I mean, they only hit 37% at 8, but they get a couple lines, and that's a death knell. So they're moving on to the semis, but I would think EMR would have a decent showing in the silver bracket. They're a good team.
I agree. So so next week we're going to have the other quarterfinal matchup that we're going to have covered, and so tune in next week for that.
The Cuz versus the Cuz.
Yeah, boy.
The Cuz versus my Cuz.
It's going to be a beauty. Don't discount that one.
No.
All right, so thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bazooka.
Bazooka.
Wes, I can't remember
what the hell happened there.
I can't remember the name of the town.
Elverson.
Elverson. Okay, start over again.
You're like,
I was I knew it was coming, and I'm sitting there, think. Oh, Elverson.